Hey, do you want some water? No!
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. That's how the proverb goes, and this is probably the one I have the most in mind whenever I plan an activity for my students, or that I try to encourage my children to speak, read and write in their home languages. In other words, we want to create this inner desire in our children to want to use their languages. And this goes for speaking, but also reading and writing. So today I'm going to share with you 5 ideas that demands very little effort from you and that will have a great impact on your children to want to read and write in their home languages. So let's get started! Hello everyone, this is Yoshito Darman-Shimawari. I'm the founder of the Library for Multilinguals, and on this channel I share with you tips on how you can teach your child to read and write in your home languages. So if this is something that interests you, make sure to subscribe to your channel and ring the bell icon. So I'm going to start this video with the most important message I want to share with you. Reading and writing your home languages isn't your child's goal, it's your goal. So if you want to involve your child, don't make it about reading and writing. Keep the focus on how they feel through the activities that are going to develop as a consequence their reading skills and writing skills. This is something that's going to be true for reading, writing, but anything else in their lives. So let's start with reading. And the number one thing, it's obvious, but it's finding the right book for your child. It doesn't mean the most educational one, it means the one that your child is going to be enjoying the most. Let me share with you a personal story about how our eldest started to read more and more in French. So our home languages are French and Korean, and the community language is English. That's his school language as well, so it's the language he can read the most fluently in. The one he has the most practice with. So for French, at the beginning it was quite difficult, and there was a big gap between English and French. What really helped is that he was obsessed with Dogman. He got to know Dogman from his friends in school, and he read one in English, and he loved it. And obviously, when I found out that Dogman was translated in French, I decided to buy it in French. And when he got it, he was so happy to have a Dogman. It was in French, it was more difficult, but he was more happy to have it. And he started reading it, and he spent the whole afternoon reading. It demanded from him a lot of effort, but because it was fun and silly, which is all he needed to get him going, he was spending hours doing it. What I want to say is that it took just one book to get him hooked on reading in French as well. So for him, it wasn't about reading in English or in French, it was accessing the story. And because he loved the story and he could, at that time he was starting to be able to read more or less confidently in French. So he put the effort to read more and more to access the story. Again, it's obvious, but the number one thing you need to focus on is trying to get books in your language that your child is going to love. And that's going to help you a lot. Of course, it doesn't mean that you have to leave the book just to them. You can read with them and read to them as well, but you need to get books that are going to be interesting to them to read in your language. So the second thing that's important is going to have the place for a child to feel like they want to read in that place. It doesn't mean that they have to read in that space, but it needs to be cozy so that they want to sit there, lie down and start reading their favorite books. So what you need for this space is obviously some books, a shelf or something where you can display their favorite books, and something to make it cozy, so like cushions, blankets, etc. One key thing you have to do is really to keep the choice of books not too wide. It has to be enough so that they can choose from, but not too many so they get lost in everything there is. It's really about narrowing down the choice so that they can see all the books there are. The third tip I'm going to give you is to create more opportunities for a child to read in your home language. And these need to be zero at stake type of opportunities, which means that they don't have to read. It's just an opportunity they have to read in your home language. And again, the goal is not for them to read in your home language, it's for them to read, to have access to something that make them feel good, positive. So the first example is blocks of games. So you can have them in many languages. And as you can see in these examples, these books have very little writing. It's just the instructions that's going to help your child understand what they need to do the game. And the fun they have comes from the game they play. And because the amount of time they spend reading is going to be a lot shorter than the amount of time they spend doing the activities, having fun, they're going to carry on and read more and more. My sons have spent whole afternoons playing games like that. The other type of book I want to talk to you about is that type of book. So this is a book with lots of jokes inside. You can have books with riddles. The reason it's so good is because, again, you have little to read, but the impact of this reading is going to be really positive on your child. So when they read it first, they can laugh about it, but also when they read it to other people, they can make other people laugh. Or if it's riddles, they look smart. So positive things that's going to help them want to read more and more. So now let's talk about writing. Writing demands a lot of effort. When your child reads, they just need to recognize what they're reading. But when they write, it demands a lot more effort because they have to remember how to write it and then write it. If you offer more zero-stake opportunities to write, they're going to do it and have fun doing it. One way you can do it is to give them really fancy pens, a very nice notebook, so that they want to practice writing. It could be beautiful postcards as well, where they want to write a nice message to someone. So possibilities are endless. It's just making writing fun. The second thing I'm going to suggest is that you need to make writing easier. As I mentioned before, writing is difficult because you need to know how to spell a word before you can actually write it. And as I explained in the previous video that I'm going to link in the description below, you can give examples to your child to follow so that they can choose the words they want to write. In that way, they can organize treasure hunts, they can write a list of things to buy. Possibilities are virtually endless. You just need to provide the example to make them more and more independent. And after a while, you see that they start remembering these words and they'll be able to write them on their own. If they want to write the words, it's going to be a lot more powerful than if you tell them to write something. Give them the power, ask them what they want to write and help them write them. Giving them this independence or perceived independence with the support is going to encourage them to write more and more. And once they get more confident, they're going to want to write without any help as well. So to come back on what I started with this video with, you need to focus on how your child is going to feel. And if they feel positive, they're going to want to read and write in your home languages as well. But don't make it about reading in your home language or writing in your home language. It just needs to be about the aim of reading and writing. I hope this video gave you some ideas on how you can help your child want to read and write in your home languages. And if you have any other idea, make sure to share them in the comments below. If you're interested in getting more tips on how you can help your child to read and write in your home languages, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell icon. Bye!